accept two different answers, that's okay too. Okay? I'll write them both up. So this first one is either, as soon as my pen is working, is either negative 7n cubed, n to the 3 minus 7, or it is 7n cubed negative n to the 3 plus 7. Either one of those is acceptable. Same thing here. It's either negative 5 x squared plus 40 or 5 negative x squared minus 40. Wait. Oh, jeez. Of course, it's 8. What an idiot. Thank you. That's why I do this. All right. This one is no possibilities here. You only have one right answer. It is 2x squared, 4x cubed plus 5. This one is 8v, which is v cubed plus 3v squared minus 3. This one is 2x cubed minus x plus 2. This one is 8a, 3b to the 4th plus a squared. This one only has letters coming out, x to the 5th y squared, which leaves 7x squared y minus 9. This one has letters and numbers coming out. The number is 2. The letter is a c squared. And you're going to have 5ac squared. No, there's no a. 5c squared minus 4ab plus 4b cubed. Now, I would like for everyone to notice how easy it is to make a mistake if you try to do it all in one step in your head, yes? Right? I've already made 2. Yeah? So be careful. Down here, again, you could take out a negative first. I like to take out a negative first. So I'm taking out negative 9 y to the 4th. And I'm leaving in 5x to the 4th plus 3x y z squared. I don't care if you change the order of the letters there. You can leave it as yxz. It does not matter. Minus y squared. If you brought out a positive 9, then all these signs are different. It would be positive 9 out here, and it would be minus 5, minus 3, and plus y. And you could still get full marks. Same thing here. What's coming out? I would bring out a negative 2r to the 6th, and that would leave me with 8q plus p plus minus 3. And that whole page is out of 10. Give yourself an appropriate mark. If you were marking my paper, you would give me 9 out of 10. Because I took a half mark up here because I left 40. And I made another one down here. I think it was on 8. You would be wrong. Factor by any means necessary. Turn the page over. These are all worth 2. What? Number which? 10. Minus which? Negative times, yeah, it should be minus p. So now I'm down to 8.5. Once again, I remind you, not writing it out is an opportunity to make silly mistakes like that, which I made 3 of. This one, I need to multiply to 42 and add to 13. What is it? X plus 6, X plus 7. Can it be X plus 7, X plus 6? Of course it can. This one, I need to multiply to what? Negative 84 and add to what? 17. What is it? 21 minus 4, right? So it is Q plus 21, Q minus 4. What's missing from my answer? I need that R to make the R squared, which is, of course, what every pirate movie is rated. R. Joke never gets tired. Never gets tired. Do you know why pirates can't learn the alphabet? Why? Because they get stuck at R, or they spend years at C. Dry your tears, Maria. There's only a few more months of this. Not even a few more months. Literally only 2. Not even if... Good! That was hurtful, YouTube audience. That was hurtful. Maria, whose last name I will not say due to privacy concerns, is being very hurtful. Huh? I could say your last name. I could easily say your last name. But if I say it, then there will be privacy concerns. And I don't want to do that. But if I were going to say it, it would be Del Cengio. All right, what don't I like there? 3, so I get rid of it. If I'm lucky, it'll work all the way through. Does it? Yep. 3y squared minus 6y plus 8. Now I need the factors of positive 8 that add to negative 6. Multiply to 8, add to negative 6. What are they? Minus 4 and minus 2. What about this guy? What do I notice right there and there? It's the same, so what can I do? I can make it another letter. I wouldn't use A because there's already an A there, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to say it's X, which means it's 3bx minus 4x. What's the common factor? X, and what's over here? 3b minus 4. No x in the original equation. What's x? 2a minus 7, 3b minus 4. Yeah? Yeah. And down here, you should notice this, but you should also notice it's not quite right. How do I make it right? How do I make this bottom one right? I got to divide by a negative 1, which does what when it comes out here? Makes that negative x and makes this x minus 3 plus 4x minus 3. Now you notice that there's my a and there's my a, right? So I have a and then negative x plus 4. So you could write 4 minus x if you wanted to. But you don't have to. And what is a? X minus 3, 4 minus x, or x minus 3, negative x plus 4. They're the same thing. Making that back page also out of 10, if I'm not mistaken. making the whole quiz out of 20. Now, Miss Lloyd, I will mark those two while they are working later. Everybody good? That is the second quiz from this unit. You have them both. You will need to report those numbers to me soon. We are still a ways away from the test, so I will probably get them from you Monday. Okay? Now, if everybody could turn to 135 and 136. Actually, I'm the worst kind of liar. I want to get this lesson done. So everybody go to 137 and we'll mark 135 and today's practice stuff on Monday. Okay? Everybody, what? Get a drink? Yes. Go to 137, have a stretch, shake your sillies out a bit, talk to your neighbor, because what we're about to do is weird, but still easy. Okay? It's exactly what you know how to do, exactly the same thing with two extra steps, but they make perfect sense when you think about it. Okay? To be on page 137 again. We are now going to deal with how to factor the trinomial when the first number isn't a 1 and you cannot GCF. All right? This is what we're going to learn now. What happens when there's a number out in front of the first term and you can't divide it out? Everybody cool? All right. To do this easily, I'm going to remind you once again that all the stuff you already know is important right now. All of you can expand that in about 1 second because it's a shortcut one, right? So you're going to go x squared, then you're going to add them, plus 10x, and then you're going to multiply them, plus 24. You can all do that, right? In like 2 seconds. Everybody's happy with that, correct? Now, how would you expand this one? You just got to do FOIL, right? That times that, which is 6x squared. That times that, which is minus 4x. That times that, which is plus 3x. And that times that, which is minus 2. And then you would add it all up and get 6x squared minus x minus 2. Correct? Now, if I asked you to factor this guy, you would tell me, okay, Myers, I need numbers that multiply to 24 and add to 10. Correct? Everyone knows that, right? We just did a quiz on it. Everyone's cool with that, yeah? All right. Now, tell me what is similar between that and that. What's the same? There's an x squared and an x. Excellent. What else? What else is the same there? They are both what? Trinomials. Excellent. They're both trinomials. Okay. Now, since they both have an x squared and an x, and they're both trinomials, they share quite a few characteristics, yes? So does it not make sense that we are going to do something with multiplying to something and adding to something? Does everybody agree that that makes sense as something that we are going to try, correct? All right. Now, what's different between the two yellows? What's the number one difference you see?
One of them is a coefficient.
You see a 6 and you see a 1, correct? Everyone agree? Okay. How many times bigger than 1 is 6? 6 times bigger. So this trinomial is going to be bigger than this trinomial, isn't it? Right? How many times bigger? 6 times bigger. So in this trinomial, we needed to multiply to 24, right? This trinomial is 6 times bigger. So instead of multiplying to 24, what do you think we multiply to? 6 times a bigger number. If there was no 6 there, what would we multiply to? If this 6 wasn't there, what would I multiply to? Negative 2. But I need 6 times bigger than that, don't I? So what will I multiply to down here? Pardon me? Negative 12. Does everybody understand that? I had 1, so I just used this, because there's only going to be 124 in there, correct? But here, there's going to be 6 of whatever is left in here, right? Because look at the way we expanded. We ended up with multiplying these last 2 numbers, yes? So I'm going to need to multiply to 12. Now here's where it gets weird. You only change that. Here we are still adding, oops, I've already written the adding. We are still adding to negative 1. This is the same. Does everybody see that? Okay, you're about to see why. I'm going to explain it. If that is the case, I now need numbers that multiply to 12 and add to negative 1. What are they? Are they 1 and 12? Are they 2 and 6? What are they? 3 and 4, right? So I need 3 and 4 to make negative 1. Which one of those has to be negative? 4. Everybody's cool for that? Now, if we were working the way we already know how, we would know that we have x plus 3 and x minus 4, correct? Everyone agrees? But what did we do to know we had to go to 12? What made us know it had to be 12? What do we have to do with the 6 and the 2? We had to multiply that, correct? Isn't factoring division? Have we done any division yet? No. So the only reason we knew it was 3 and 4 was because we multiplied by 6, correct? So we got to get rid of that 6, don't we? How do we get rid of times 6? Divide by 6, right? What do you think we would divide by 6? Right now we have x, 3, x, and 4. What would we be dividing by 6? You got a 50-50 shot. Are we going to divide the x by 6 or the 3 and the 4 by 6? The 3 and the 4 is correct. Why do you think it's the 3 and the 4? What did we do to make us know we needed the 3 and the 4? What did we do at the very beginning so we could find 3 and 4? We multiplied by 6. So we must have to divide the 3 and the 4 by 6. Because the only reason we knew that it was 3 and 4 was because we multiplied by 6. Is everyone good? Everyone's good? This makes sense so far, right? Everything we've done makes good sense. Now, think closely. Would Mrs. Bad Crumble ever let you leave that fraction or that fraction? What would he or she make you change it to? What would this be? 1 over 2. What would this be? 2 over 3. Does everyone agree? So now I'm going to come over here to where I have more space. And I have x minus 1/2 and x minus 2/3. Is everyone cool to there? Everyone's okay? Now, what in those 2 binomials do you not like? You don't like the fractions. You guys hate fractions, don't you? Oh, yeah. How do you get rid of this divided by 2? Multiply it by 2, correct? How would I get rid of this divided by 3? multiply it by 3, correct? So if I multiply this side by 2, I get 2x minus 1, don't I? Everyone see? 2 times x is x, 2 times a half is 1. If I multiply this side by 3, I get 3x minus 2, don't I? And what do you see? I have the factors. Does everybody see it? And even though you've never seen it before, every single one of those steps makes perfect sense, doesn't it? I need 6 times bigger than x, so I need 6 times bigger than my last term. Okay? But those numbers don't exist unless I multiply by 6, so I better divide by 6. Then, fractions, barf, how do I get rid of them? 3 and 2. Now I'm going to give you a little shortcut because I like you so much. If there's denominators, where did those denominators go? Just right to the front. You don't even need to actually multiply. There's a little shortcut for you. Everybody cool? Now the first practice one I've got you to do here is really hard because the numbers are really big. But that's why I do it. The first one really hard, so the rest seem easy. What in number 1 do you not like? You don't like the 20, but you can't divide it out, can you? Right? So, we would know what to do if there was no 20 there, so we have to do this. 20 times 10 is what? 200. And I need to add to what? 33. Is it 1 and 200? 2 and 100? 4 and 50? 5 and 40? 8 and 25? It's 8 and 25, isn't it? So I know it's going to be 8 and 25. How do 8 and 25 make 33? How does it do it? 25 plus 8. So it's going to be b plus 8 and b plus 25, correct? What made us know that it was 20 and 25? I had to multiply by 20. So what do I need to do now? Divide by 20. Would Mrs. Bad Crumble like those fractions? So what would we do to make her happy and get our full marks? We'd simplify them. To what? 2 over 5, correct? And 5 over 4, correct? Everybody agree? Okay. Now, I'm left with the denominator. What's the shortcut Mr. Myers just taught us to do with those denominators? We move it to the front. So what does this first term become? 5b plus 2. What does this second term become? 4b plus 5. Would I ever not take 1 second to check my answer? Of course not. Is 5 times 4 20b squared? Yep, so I'm good. Is 2 times 5 10? So I'm good. If the edges are good, the middle's good. It's automatic. Is everybody cool? It's the only thing new is putting it all together, yes? Every step makes perfect sense. To me, at least. Does it make sense to you? Right? It's just math. I had to be 6 times bigger. Now I got to get that 6 out of there. I had to be 20 times bigger. Now I got to get that 20 out of there. How many times bigger does this one have to be? 3 times bigger. And at the end, what am I going to do? What am I going to have to do? Get the 3 out, right? So let's start. Since it's got to be 3 times bigger, what do I have to multiply to? Minus 30. What do I have to add to? Negative 13. Is it 1 and 30? Is it 2 and 15? Yes, it is 2 and 15, isn't it? Right? Because 10 and 3 will not get me to negative 13 and keep that negative, will it? So it has to be 15 and 2. Which one of those will get me negative 13? Negative 15 plus 2, correct? So I have S. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. We believe in you. S minus 15 and S plus 2. Except we haven't gotten rid of that 3 yet. How do we get rid of the 3? We've multiplied by 3, so now what do we have to do to get rid of it? Divide by 3. Does Mrs. Bad crumble like these? What do we do with 15 divided by 3? 5. What do we do here? Can I simplify that? Nope. So where do the denominators go? S minus 5, because there's no denominator, and goes to the front. 3s plus 2. And then I check. Is s times 3s 3s squared? Is that times that that? Yep. Is negative 5 times positive 2 negative 10? Yep. And I got it. Everybody cool? Now, listen to me, please. If you are from another country, you may have learned another way to do this. I don't care if you use it. The way you have learned is a way I do not like. I hate it because it requires you to guess. Is there any guessing involved in the way I have taught you? None at all. The expression tells you exactly what to do. So you don't ever have to guess. But if you are more comfortable using that guessing method, which involves a box like this with numbers here and a cross and a plus and a minus, go ahead and use it. I hate it. No, it's not. They're going to say it's easier because they learned that first. So they think it's easier. But it requires you to guess. My way requires no guessing. I do not care which way you use. There's even a third way to do it that is even yuckier, which I am also not going to show you. Okay? All right. So, what do I need to do here? Because these are the last two I'm going to do, and then you guys are going to start working. What do I need to do here? Look closely. I could do that, but look at this number, and this number. What should I do first? I should GCF, right? Because that's the first thing I'm always supposed to do. So what comes out of 6, 21, and 9? 3. So a 3 comes out to the front, and I got 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. Right? Now, do we know what to do there? I need to multiply to what and add to what? Multiply to 6 and add to negative 7. What is it? Negative 1 and negative 6, right? So, I have x minus 1, but it's not really minus 1 because I have to divide by what? 2. And I have x minus 6, but it's not really minus 6 because I have to divide by 2. Then I fix up my fractions. Does 1/2 fix up at all? Does 1/2 get any easier? So where does the 2 go, Zaro? Before the x. 2x minus 1. Does 6 divided by 2 get any better? What does it become? 3. Any denominator? Nope. So it's x minus 3. And then I check. Is 2 times x 2x squared? Yep. Is -1 times -3 positive 3? Yep. Is 3 times 2 6? Yep. Is 3 times 3 9? He waited patiently. Yep. So we're right. Everybody got it? And it makes sense because you're just doing math. Right? Okay. 4 is the last one I'm going to do. What do I need? I need to multiply to what? Multiply to what kind of 40, Avery? -40, and add to what? -18. What is it? Is it 1 and 40? Is it 2 and 20? Yes. How will 2 and 20 get me -18? 2 minus 20, correct? So it's p plus 2, but it's not really plus 2. What is it? Divided by 8, and it's p minus 20, but it's not really 20, it's 20. Divided by 8. And then what do I do with any fractions? Fix them up. What's 2/8? 1/4. What's 20/8? 5/2. What do I do with my denominators? Where does the first denominator go? Where does the second one go? And my final answer is 4p plus 1, 5p minus, 2p minus 5. And then I check. Is 4 times 2 8? Yep. Is 1 times 5 -5? Yep. And I'm right. Now, I can tell by the fact that not one of you is able to sit through one question now that I have lost your attention. That is fine. I am giving up this fight, and I'm going to shut up and say go. Since nobody needed to pay attention to that, nobody should need to pay attention to me anymore. Your homework is 137 and 138. Go.